Atlantia vive, Atlantia vince, Atlantia victor. My dear friends at AMD, I am very proud of all your efforts and about the wonderful Zen processor that you have created. The name Zen came from me, but the work came from you. And I wish to announce a new policy at AMD. A new loyalty program, because I suspect that the employee loyalty at our great company is not very good after 13 years of continuous more or less failures. And thus I announce today that we shall mass produce the engineering sample. We shall produce 2 or 3 more big circles big disks, each hosting a few hundreds processors, and we shall give to each employee, we shall give to each junior employee a new computer which has an 8-core and 16-thread processor made from us, a Zen processor, together with a small SSD made by Samsung but rebranded by us. And to each senior employee and to myself, I wish to give, and to Lisa Su, I wish to give a full workstation with 32 cores and 64 threads. Yes, the motherboard is dual, but only one socket shall be populated. And I'm doing this because I wish to turn our great employees into beta testers. I encourage you all to submit your ideas and to tell us what is good and what is wrong, what are the flaws and what are the merits of the new architecture. And thus we shall save thousands of dollars by not paying other people to do the same thing, to be beta testers for us. And also I wish to caution you against selling these systems on eBay, because we will find out and you'll be fired. Also I want our employees to be fanatically loyal to us. I have seen that in the past that it was my idea to send a few samples of our products to reviewers on the net, to 24 or 21 years old boys who of course did not always pursued our desire to review our products, because we have made the error of sending them SSDs which are not originally produced by us. They are rebranded by us, but they are produced by Samsung, and Samsung has some big problems with their very reliable SSDs. For instance, they don't show free space correctly because they do not allocate a zone at the end of the SSD or at the beginning of the SSD as a buffer zone. So you have 50 gigabytes free today and 0 bytes free tomorrow, or the next hour or the next minute, because the system moves the data from one part to the other of the SSD in order to improve the performance. And thus I expect you, I wish that you shall send these workstations for reviewing to Anantech, to Tom's Hardware, and perhaps to Angry Joe and a few 2 or 3 others on the net, and to put AMD SSDs in them as well, and AMD motherboards or other Gigabyte or Asus good motherboards, not motherboards made by ASRock and the like. And we wish to tell them that I wish you to phone them, to call them before that, and to ask for confirmation on whether or not they really wish to pursue with their review of our systems. And also to send them desktop system featuring 8 cores and 16 threads and 16 cores and 32 threads. You also have to insist on the fact that we also wish the graphical performance to be an issue, and also for the server parts that we wish it for server workloads to be tested. Now, what are we going to use these great CPUs? Because I know that we have 512 cores and 1024 threads in in work. People at Intel are very angry and they speak about our double cheeseburger. They presume that we have a double die processor, which is in fact a one die. It is one big cheeseburger. It is not a double cheeseburger. They are calling cheeseburgers because the cores are like the bread and the cache memory inside is like the ham and the cheese. And we are going later to send them as well to IBM, and I have seen, and to other supercomputer producers which are suited for our server market, like the supercomputer company called Cray. I have sent them a tweet, or two or three tweets, and I said, please use our new Xi processor because we are going to make 64 cores and 128 threads, 128 threads and 256 128 cores and 256 threads on 7 nanometers and 256 cores and 512 threads on 5 nanometers. I did not disclose about our double die project, and I did this because I have seen that people at Cray are only using Intel processors and IBM processors these days. After our long missing from the market, because our last good Opteron processor featuring 16 cores was back 6 or 7 years ago in 2010. Okay, so enough with the criticism already. I wish to encourage you, and it is a good policy to feed ourselves from our own work. It is like those people in the restaurants are doing. Do you have the courage to go to a restaurant and say, no, you only have to give food to me because I'm paying you. You are not allowed to eat from the food that you are producing. Of course you are allowed to eat from your own food, and of course you are allowed to take from your own processor, one per people, not more, one per person, not more. But before that or after that, we are going to sell, and we are going to beat the crap out of Intel. We are going to turn Intel into a small pasta, like they say, Intel thermal paste. We are going to turn Intel into a thermal paste. Because I wish to sell, yes, one module consisting of 4 cores and 8 threads on the desktop market to compete with Sandy Bridge and so on, and also 8 cores and 16 threads to compete with the enthusiast market. But I also wish to issue a 16 core and 32 threads in order to compete with the top offering of Intel on the desktop market, which is the 10 cores and 20 threads Intel 6950X, which is currently selling at about $2,000 in Romania. We are going to sell it about $400, $200 and $100 respectively. So we are going to put a big graphical part on the 4-core 8 threads package and also on the 8-core 16 threads package in order to ensure the promotion of our graphical card and the former ATI cards and our APUs, which are the future. The future is fusion, as we say, or as you say. But also, I was today visiting the page of IBM, the Big Blue, which also holds a great share in our company, and many consider them to be our parent company. And less than 1 day after my announcement in my previous video, which I have also sent to them and to you, about our upcoming processors, they moved very fast, although we say about them that they are very slow because they are very bureaucratic and so on, and they have released the Power 9 processor. They have announced the Power 9 processors, which feature 24 cores and 192 threads of execution, reduced at 96 because they have a version of 24 cores and 4 threads per core, which leads to a total of 96 cores and 96 threads for their own Linux machine and their open architecture. And they also have 12 cores at 8 threads each, which equals again to 96 threads, which is used exclusively for their Power 9 and architecture and servers. And also there is a big difference between our own store at AMD.com and their own online store. As you know, more than half of this planet, more than 3.6 billion people are on the internet, so our online store is very important. Yes, our store is like, a store like you make in Zen store, which is a free application for for my websites, because I have 7 websites: eWorld site, Virtual Democracy Org, Democracia Virtuală.com, Democracia Atlanta Org, IHL Datacom, and IHL Space, and I have music and so on. And I also have another company called Vultur, which means eagle in Romania, Vultur.com, where we have very good processors and very good servers and outstanding technical support, but a horrible customer attitude. I will also be sending this video to Vultur because I am very dissatisfied with their financial prospects and their actual doing. They have the bad Romanian habit of taking money from your bank account without announcing you before. Actually, they will say, we are going to remove $256, which will cover the cost for the next month. You have to pay in advance, while at Amazon you have to pay after you have used the server for 3 months. Here you have to pay in advance because we are a small company. And yes, we have the faster servers and so on, but our behavior is unpredictable at Vultur, and without announcing our customers, we are removing money from their bank account. And not everyone is a billionaire or a millionaire, so they may take offense while doing this. And also we have dedicated server with only 120 gigabytes SSDs and 4 times and 2 times more, which is totally insufficient for my websites, which occupy 542 gigabytes of storage with all the stupid things that people are writing on Virtual Democracy Org. Also, my goal is to promote democracy and virtual democracy, to unite this planet, and to sell computers at IHL Data Corporation. Okay, these are very small corporations compared to AMD and to IBM and to Intel. But I wish to buy Vultur and absorb them into AMD, because we need to offer a free service like IBM has with SoftLayer. When you enter into the IBM page, they say try SoftLayer 3 days free, and SoftLayer is of course a soft layer, as the name implies. They have one big data center and big supercomputers, and they have a virtualized solution, and they also have a deceiving solution at IBM, which presents your virtual machine as a physical machine. And if you make an account, you pay more, 10 times more or 5 times more. But if you install KDE Plasma environment, I install it on my virtual machine. I have seen on K-Info that it was virtual. All processors were virtual, all network interfaces were virtual, and so on and so forth. There were no COM ports, no serial ports, and so on and so forth. Yes, it was a virtual machine. And why I wish to use our new processors in these virtual machines, because this is the future. The future is not a future where everyone has a 32 cores standing on his desk. No, very far from it. The future is a world in which I can rent per hour, per minute, or per second a virtual machine with thousands of cores or only one core, and I can use it for as much as I want, and after that I delete it and I make another. Yes, and at Vultur.com we also have Windows machines and Linux machines, but unfortunately at CentOS and Ubuntu is a little bit unstable. CentOS is the preferred solution for cPanel, and yes, in cPanel I can cut off all my subdomains featuring hundreds of pages, and I can make 63 servers. I do not wish to deal with that. I only wish one big server, not 63 small servers. And yes, we also have at Vultur, only in New York and New Jersey, we have a block storage device, yes. And everything is sold off because this is the nature of our incomplete leadership and incomplete business model. We are offering 1 month free now, but this is insufficient to compensate for our very horrible, not customer support, but customer attitude, because we don't like spammers, but we allow spammers on our servers. And in one day, thousands of threads about Viagra and so on were posted on democracyatlant.org and virtualdemocracy.org, and after that they only said, oh, we are sorry, please delete and remake it. And we asked $200 from each customer if we wish to remake this account. I have 5 accounts at Vultur because every time there was an issue, I was sending emails which they perceived as spam because I selected all my contacts and they sent some emails into my email list and they were automatically added to my email list, and they received my political emails and they perceived them as being a spam, and although I only had 88 cents or 83 cents that, they have deleted my account. After that, and they made it unable to make another account on the same email address, apollolumina@yahoo.com. After that, I made another account at kartavalkor@yahoo.com, and everything went well. I was at $50 promotion. After the end of the promotion, they deleted my account for a few dollars in debt. They are not like DigitalOcean where you have to pay your debts at the beginning of each month, or like AVS where they have those wonderful GPU servers and you can rent very old NVIDIA K520 video cards and put some Windows system on them. There are systems featuring 15 gigabytes of RAM, of internal memory, and 8 cores, 8 CPU cores, Intel cores, because everything is on Intel. That is why I wish to break on the server market, and I wish to break on the desktop market, and I wish to also make 2 dies like the double cheeseburger that the Intel people are talking about. 64 cores, 128 threads, to be totally certain that we break the Intel monopoly on the server market, because they are selling with $7,000 and we are selling with $3,000 our processors. Yes. And we deserve this, and we deserve to be happy, and we deserve to have success after all these decades. I have now seen that of suffering. I have now seen that NASA has paid $60 billion, 60, not 16, $60 billion for their own very big pork rocket destined to go to Mars. I could have easily sold Flying Saucers of Romania for $10 billion, the whole project found at Atlantean Technology.docx at FTP Atlantic online, yes. I could have been a very good manager at NASA and show great leadership to them. Okay. So, what are we going to do at AMD? We are going to give to each employee that said machine, 8 core, 16 threads, or 32 core, 64 threads for the senior staff. We are going to test this. We are going to buy Vultur. We are going to integrate Vultur. We are going to treat them as IBM 3 software. We are going to remake the interface, the web interface, like IBM, because you click at products and IBM and they are all software products. They don't speak anymore about how many cores, about the power. They only speak about ethics. Let me show you the analytics, and it is very good for my very small firm IHL Data Corporation, because I downloaded for free 1.5 gigabytes of analytics, and I can see there, I can predict how many people will buy what computers and what will be my revenue. I simply put the computers and the markets of Romania and how much money people are earning per month, about $250, into the model. And they will tell me my revenue, and they will tell me per month how much computers I will sell and from what category and what my market strategy should be. It is a very useful product, you know. I am very proud of what they have done. It is not my company, but you know. So And also a requirement for Lisa Su, who has a Twitter account saying I'm not the CEO of AMD, and she has a really nice photograph. You have been very good on stage, but you should let a man do the talking, because you as a woman, you miss certain points of power that men insist on. It is like I was at Network 21 and I was asked to present a lipstick for women. This is a very good lipstick. It makes you feel like a woman. And I also have a great perfume. It makes you smell like a flower. And after that, I was terrific. I was great. And after that, a woman came and she had to present a shaving foam, obviously for men. And she said, well, this is a great shaving foam. Please buy it. Since I am using it, my beard stopped growing. So, you should let a man do the talking. Okay. Maybe I or maybe someone else. Because I intend to go to AMD to show strong leadership, to congratulate you. You're a very good leader, and also Keller did a very good job. Congratulations, and my idea at employing him. And I wish that our model shall continue at 10 nanometers, 7 nanometers, and 5 nanometers, because God hates waste. It is said in the Protestant world that you should not waste any moment of your life. And if we are wasting the 10 nanometer process, then we could also waste a great opportunity, because I have seen the AMD Starship with 48 cores and 96 threads on YouTube, and it is made on 7 nanometers. We should have 4 times more than what we have now. We should have 128 cores and 256 threads. Why do you limit yourself so low? Do you wish to give Intel again another chance? Perhaps. If Intel gains $55 billion because they are making processors with 10-15 cents like we do, and they are selling them not at global foundries but at their own plants, they are making their own plants and they are selling them with $10,000 now. In response to my video, they have announced that 28 cores and 56 threads and 26 cores and 52 threads processor sold for $10,000 and $8,800 each. We should give them a run for their money. We should beat them, because people, or especially men, follow technical leadership. If we show in the great desktop market that we can beat Intel in a synthetic benchmark like Sandra, for instance, and also please send one of those systems to Sandra. That is why I must insist for 16 cores and 32 threads, because I wish Intel to be beaten hard on the desktop market. I also wish Intel to be beaten hard on the server market. Look at what our brothers and sisters at Qualcomm are doing. They are making nano processors sold with $25 to $100 in extreme cases, which are very, very small. They are made for tablets and phones, and now they have announced 8 cores and 16 threads also. Yes, and we have big processors for the small servers, and for that is how business is structured. IBM is producing processors for big servers and supercomputer. Why can't we also produce for these markets, since we sell them with $3,000 per processor instead of $100,000 like SunSpark does, or which I already have 64 cores, or like IBM does. So we have to evolve in this market. Goodbye. I love you all.